Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Boys and girls, buckle up. It's gonna be a long one. We got Pikachu finally in the mail. We're starting into this build. And I'm going to talk about something that I'm sure a lot of people... Look at the size of that instruction booklet, man. That, holy cow. Yep, it's going to be a doozy. Anyway, want to get started off, and I'm sure by now a lot of people have already heard about the Jason Paige situation, that he stole... Uh-oh. Do I not have all the bags? Did I get diddly scammed here? I don't have all the bags. 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 12, 9, 10, 11. You gotta be kidding me. Well, that's disappointing. I waited all this time for this thing to show up, and this is what I got. Well, I'm gonna have to return that and write a very strongly worded letter to somebody about that. Anyway, well, I guess I'll just talk about the Paige situation. Now, a lot of people are saying that this guy... So the controversy right now is that this guy reportedly scammed some little kids out of a $150 Japanese Gengar card, and traded them a fake card with his autograph on it that was graded. And now people are saying it shouldn't have been graded. People were saying that... you know, and I guess these kids asked for their card back and he said no. And now I've got kind of a hot take on this one, and that is that this guy it wasn't about the card at all. And that it was about his autograph. Now people will say, oh, was his autograph really worth $150? Now that's a good question. If you don't know about the guy's career and you just know Jason Paige is the guy that sang the original English version of the Pokemon theme song, then yeah, you could make the argument that the guy's signature isn't worth $150, but then you do a little more digging on this guy's portfolio and you find out that he toured with like Michael Jackson. He toured with Blood, Sweat and Tears, and he was he helped write for the Scorpions. I mean, this guy did a lot in his career and has done a lot in his career, and so I feel like to say that his autograph isn't worth that much money, I think it's just an issue of not knowing who the guy really is. I mean, the Pokemon theme was a footnote in his career, really, when you think about it. And now, what I think happened with those kids was that they misunderstood what he was telling them. Now, maybe they should have had their parents with them at that booth. I don't think a couple little kids be running around, especially if they've got expensive cards or rare cards. They should be watched. They need to have a chaperone with them. I don't think that it's fair at all to say that he tried to take advantage of them. I honestly believe that these two kids just didn't know what they were doing or didn't understand what he was trying to tell them. Give me just a second. I have the Charizard box. This is really making me mad. I have the Charizard box. I'm going to open the Charizard and make sure that all of its pieces are in there. 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. This one has the actual tape on it, so that's a good sign. Anyway, and the thing is too is it's like guy has the right to say to charge whatever he wants for his autographs. And like I said, those kids, if they didn't understand, then, or if they misunderstood, that's on them, dude. Like, that's... Holy cow. I think we do have all the bags for this one. Look at that. Look how small. Bag number 12. Wow. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to try to count this out while I still try to stay on track. There's 5. 21. Look how small these bags are. Jeez. Anyway, yeah, and him asking for him, and here's the thing too. It's not that he even told those kids that his signature or that his autograph was worth more than that Gengar card. He said eventually it was going to be worth more. And that's what he does a lot. Now, people call him a grifter. People say he's just a scammer. But I honestly, you know, again, my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with what he's doing. I mean, everybody else seems to think they have the right to say what their cards are worth, and that what they have is, you know, they say, oh, mine's worth this much, mine's worth that much. Well, why can't he do the same dang thing? And anybody that disagrees is fooling themselves, because, yeah, he's more than entitled. I think, like, knowing what I know about the guy and his career, his freaking signature should be worth $200. And what's to stop him from saying that? And now, is it okay for him to go around to booths and ask vendors if he can, hey, you know, if I sign a couple of your cards, will you give me a card? Like, I don't agree with that. I think that's a little weird. Let's see, we got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 5, 6, 3, 7, 9. Sorry, I'm just super mad about the Pikachu. Oh, here's bag number 1. 3, 8, 9. Here's number 2. 27. There's 4. There's 17. 28. Holy cow. I feel like some of these bags, I mean, look how few pieces are in this bag. And then, I mean, couldn't it have been the same size as this bag? I mean, look at these. This is ridiculous. Anyway, there's 18, 28, 27, 26, 23, oh my goodness, 24, 20, and 19. Okay, so, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bear with me, folks. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Where's 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27, 28. All right, let's look at them. Again, just an absolute beast. All right, yeah, 28. All right, we have 28 bags. We have 28 bags. 28 bags. Good. All right, well, I'm not going to start on Charizard. I'm just going to keep talking about this whole story and how it's blown up, and there's really nobody talking about that. There's nobody talking about the fact that, like, I mean, people walk around. Look at the price of cards. Look at the price of just cards, and it's because people just arbitrarily make up numbers. I mean, I'm about to start walking around a convention and just start telling people that my signature's worth money. Like, I mean, why not? Not to say that mine is, but hey, man, I'm a YouTuber and I can give you a shout out. And, you know, if you let me have one of your cards, you know, just let me pick out a card out of your box here, and I'll give you a shout out on my YouTube channel. Like, what's to stop people from doing that kind of stuff? But because this guy actually goes out and does it, he's a scumbag, and because a couple of kids that didn't understand what he was telling them, that he, like, again, it wasn't about trying to trade them a fake card for their rare Gengar card. The trade was for his autograph, and the graded slab that card was in that had his autograph, the grade was to certify the autograph. It wasn't to certify the card. The card wasn't like a 10 out of 10 or anything like that. The grade was for the autograph. The slab was for the autograph. The card was a promo card made by that company that he signed. So, I mean, again, like I said, should he have maybe not tried to trade it to little kids? Probably. But ultimately, I'm like, let's be real here. Are the kids to blame? Is he to blame, or are their parents to blame? Now, he's come out and said that it wasn't him that made the trade. It was somebody from his team at the table. He had nothing to do with it. But when they asked the kids, they said, no, it was that guy. He's the one that traded us the card, and now he hasn't made any comments about it. And it's all just a mess. Now, like I said before, him going up to vendors and being like, hey, if I put my signature on a couple of your cards, will you let me like pick one of your cards out of your case? And some people go for it and some people don't. But again, I don't think this guy's signature for his contribution to Pokemon is what really makes it worth it. I mean, obviously that's what it makes it worth it to Pokemon fans. But anybody who's just a fan of the music industry, and especially and in particular 80s music, you know, like I said, on the, you know, he's toured with all sorts of 80s bands that were really big, and that's kind of how he got into that. And then he's also got acting credits. That kind of stuff I'm not really too knowledgeable on, but you know, he's done some voice acting and things of that nature. But to really say that this guy is you know, just out here scamming people is just crazy. And you know, and I think we all need to acknowledge that. But we also, like, again, the other side of this that we need to acknowledge is that this guy is out here being like, hey, this is how much my signature's worth, and it's going to be worth more the longer it's around, whatever. And so I don't see the difference in that and vendors being like, oh no, this card's worth $150. Because the market said so or whatever. But ultimately it's just whatever they feel like charging for it. If I had a booth, I wouldn't make any money because I'd be selling cards at prices that people could afford and not at prices that are set to make me money. But those are just my thoughts on Jason Paige. You know, love him or hate him. Like I said, I don't think that what he did was necessarily wrong in the sense that people are making it out to sound like he maliciously tricked these kids. I think that he told them, hey, this card has my signature on it. It's verified. It's going to be worth money. And they willingly traded a card that they probably shouldn't have traded. And ultimately, I don't even think they would have cared unless another vendor hadn't said something. Right? I think that that's another aspect that we need to look at too, and just say like, hey, did this other vendor, maybe he wanted their Gengar card? You know, why isn't that outside of the realm of possibility that maybe this other guy was like, oh, you should have traded it to me, I would have gotten you a better deal. And we see that a lot too at conventions, where somebody will trade something away and they'll be telling another vendor about it, and they'll say, oh, I could have gotten you a better deal. And then they go back and try to get that card back from the other vendor that they already traded or sold to. And the guy says, no deal, dude. No. But, you know, we all want to, everybody wants to dogpile. I mean, it's all over the place. Anywhere you go, dude, it's just absolutely everywhere that Jason Paige is just this monster and shouldn't be allowed at cons and all this stuff. But it takes one drop of critical thinking and 1 ounce of common sense to see like the whole big picture. And like I said, should he have sold to these kids or traded to these kids? Probably not. Probably should have traded with somebody a little bit older and probably understood a little bit more of the situation, that this guy wasn't trying to trade a fake card. It had nothing to do with the card. It was everything to do with the autograph. And the guy has every right to charge whatever he wants for his autographs. And I think everybody just needs to realize that and just move on, because hating on this guy isn't good for the community. It's not good for anybody. And like, again, these like kids make bad trades all the time. Kids make bad trades all the time. I've talked about on this show before that you know, when I was young, I had 2 Charizards. I had 2 Flareon. I had 2 Charizards and I didn't have the Flareon. I traded a Charizard for a Flareon. Bad trade now, good trade when I was doing the trade. And that's the big thing that we need to realize too, is it's not about the value of the card that you're getting in return for what's going out. It is solely meant to be based on the value of the trade in your mind for you. Did you really want this card? I really wanted a Flareon and I didn't need another Charizard. So I traded that Charizard for a Flareon. I have a friend coming over this weekend and I'm trading my Squirtle Evo line from the 151 for his Cynthia's Garchomp from Destined Rivals. Is that a good trade in my favor? Not really, but I want the Cynthia's Garchomp and he wants the Squirtle line, and he's trying to master 151. I mean, I'm not really trying to master Destined Rivals, but I mean, it's not about monetary value, it's about sentimental and personal value. And that's where we've lost the plot with this hobby. And, you know, the 30th anniversary is coming up with their drops in September, and my friend really wants to master it. And there's a couple cards in there that I really want. But because of the state of this hobby, I'm like, dude, we ain't going to get our hands on it. And it's because we've allowed people to just make arbitrary prices and set set up this market in a way that just benefits them. But if somebody else tries to benefit from it in their own way, well, that person's a monster. I mean, everybody's gonna do what they're gonna want. Everybody's gonna do what they're gonna want to do. Whatever. Like, you know, like I said, love him or hate him, he's around, and he's gonna keep trying to. I mean, the guy's got the guy. It's not like he's only famous for the Pokemon theme song. He's popular for a lot of other reasons, and like I said before, I think that it's worth it. I think that his autograph is worth it, and I think he just traded to the wrong people, and then the wrong group of people got wind of it, and now he's the bad guy. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and sorry there was no build in this video. I'm gonna reach out because I'm livid about this. Anyway, we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good night.